back from watching Spider-Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, I'm your host, Big Corpse, and I'm here with Trey Shades, the one and only, the magnificent, the powerful, the wonderful. My man, right before we started this podcast, you was talking about how you just watched Spider-Man. Let's hold on, let's put a pin in everything and tell me how much you enjoyed that movie.
Oh man, well, I'm not gonna give y'all spoilers because I know once y'all hear somebody say they just saw a movie, I'll be like, wait. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. It was honestly like really great. Like I before the movie, I ended up going back and watching, the other previous, Spider-Man movies, with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the previous Spider-Man movies, Tom Holland. I'm a Spider-Man fan. Like
Yes.
since I was a kid, even before I knew everything about Spider-Man, I was just always a Spider-Man fan. So anytime seeing Spider-Man or Spider-Man related things, I'm just like the kid in me comes back out. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, whoever is watching, you should.
Yes.
And yeah, it had me at the edge of my seat a lot of times, stressed me out some other times. Um and it just had me go back into like, oh my god, like I forgot. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, I need to go back to the comics. I need to go back and look at the comics because I forgot where like this played a part and then this and that. So a lot of good references too that they made, callbacks, etc. It was really enjoyable. It was very enjoyable.
Hmm. I left out of that movie theater and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever watched in my life, but
High key,
kind
high
of,
key.
you're right. Like, but I think after and I don't care who likes who the most. I personally think that the first Spider Verse is the greatest Spider-Man movie that was ever made. Uh, the animation style was insane.
Mm,
The story presentation was insane. They did, I think the way that they did the multiverse
yes.
was really like it. I really could wrap my brain around it. The music selection, the like that soundtrack, Metro Boomin went so hard.
Yeah, crazy.
Dude, oh my god. What else? I mean, and then I think I think people who are super hip to Spider-Man or hip to Miles Morales, but to see Miles Morales really like break as a actual Spider-Man character, like, oh yeah, there is another Spider-Man from another universe, and he's like, what would be the proper term? Afro Latino character from New York, and he's got a dad who's a cop, and all these things, and it's like it was really cool. I thought that was still I still think that might be my favorite, or might be might be the best. But this recent one, man, it's up there. God, it's so up there. It's so good.
It's
So
definitely
good.
top three. For sure.
Who?
I
What
don't
would
I
you say
don't
is your
know what
top three?
I still need to I still need to sit with that. I think the I can't even rank them, but I'll tell you definitely like the most impactful, not in order either. Definitely the first Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't get to see enough of Green Goblin, and William Defoe did an amazing job being Green Goblin. Oh my god, Green Goblin is one of he's like he is. I think he is to Spider Man high key what Joker is to Batman. Not even gonna front. That's what
Yes.
that's what I feel. Definitely the first Spider Man with Toby. Second, I really want to go as far to say No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
just the way, and because the way they my brain is scrambled, the way they have all these similar titles, but the way they brought in like all of the Spider-Man just really did something for me, like that just was lodged in my memory, like just so many good jokes, and I think it was just a sense of nostalgia with that one. And then with the one that I just watched, like it was like the Easter eggs, it was the callbacks, it was the jokes, it was the action, it was the references. I was like, damn, this might, mm, I might even go to top four, top five, because the animated Spider-Mans is really like unmatched in a way, in like their own way, in their own realm. Like I don't even include it because I'm just like, this is something of its own. That's just, it was such a masterpiece to watch. Even those, the first one, that was, I can't rank them, but they're definitely like etched into my brain as like my favorites, some of my favorites for sure.
Well, I definitely want to circle back maybe a little bit later on in this talk, but
Yeah,
that's really dope to hear. Like, because for me, I've always told I have a young son who's 8 years old, and so he's really into, well, Dad, why is Toby considered the best, or why is this one? It's like, well, son, you just got to understand William Defoe, right, and stuff like that. Like, you gotta understand that he really stole the show. Like, Aunt May was perfectly casted, Uncle Ben perfectly casted, and all these people perfectly casted, but William Defoe was just, he became, it was like, yeah, like Heath Ledger as the Joker just became that character. But yeah, definitely good picks. I think all of those were solid picks. But
hello.
brother, again, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Thank you to for also being a loyal Spider-Man fan. Um, again, came super highly recommended. If you can, tell people who you are, where you come from, what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Uh, my name is Trey, aka Shades. You can go by either, depending. Um, Really, I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I have quite a few interests, but some of my mains are like dance and visual arts, photography, videography. Um, Originally hailed from Jamaica, raised in the Bronx, New York, East Side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what do I do? I guess within the context of like the things that I do, I would say some of my favorite dance styles to do and showcase is flexing and light feet. I train in quite a few street styles, but like flexing and light feet is like my primary, secondary. Um, Shout out to all my teachers. Shout out to my family. Um, Split up across the map. Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much the cream of the crop of it all. I'm a choreographer, dancer. I perform, I battle, I showcase whatever videos, music videos for artists, etc., etc. Just trying to make it out here, doing what I love, and trying to
Mm-hmm.
just push the boundaries for myself whenever I can.
Yeah, that's I really like the way that you, and every time I get one of the dance homies up on here, and I try to always start off with that question of, like, tell us who you are and what you do. It's like multifaceted. I like the way you said multidisciplined, right? Cuz I think especially as dancers, we have to have so many different disciplines to make our that craft, that piece of the pie, like cook and like really be something. You know, we have to have the right clothes, we have to have the right music, you know, and a lot of us cut and mix and do our own stuff ourselves, right? Or we work with a DJ, you know, it's like, hey, can you make something for me? And then you kind of go back and forth on messages, or you pull up to their crib and it's like, no, I want it to sound like a juga juga right here and not a juga juga right there, you know.
Mm.
Um, what what got you, or better, what inspired you to even pursue something creative? What got you started in saying, you know what, I'm a, because was it dance first? Well, what was the first creative art that came to you?
the the Trey lore. Um, I would at least say for dance, at least. Um, what got me into it was really movies, dance movies, like House Party. Um,
Mm,
most people will, say stuff like "You Got Served," but like I think House Party for me really spoke to me in a way where it was just the vibe. It was just the vibe of the '90s, '80s/90s that really like had me, and just the energy of like House Party, the comedy, the moves, the energy of everything together. It was just like I want to do that, and tried doing that, and then my friends was like, nah, bro, you should stop. Like, I guess I could do some of the stuff, but I guess I didn't have the swagger at the time, so it was like I guess it was cringy. Um, but what really like got me into it, like for real, was it's like a two-part, three-part thing. It was like some members of my church, um, back when we all used to go. And some members of my church, they danced a certain way, and they had elements of hip hop and animation and stuff like that, and what they did. And I was like, I want to move like that. And we did like church competitions and stuff, like nationally. And I just saw the energy that they brought. I saw how they looked on stage. I saw how they made people feel as well. And then it just reminded me of a time where like I tried to dance myself but gave it up, and I was like, I want to be able to do that though. And then I remember I just saying that I wanted to do it, and then I ended up walking past one of my boys at church one night when we were finished choir rehearsal, and he was watching a video in his car, and I just happened to like stop and be like, yo, like what is that? And he was like, oh, this dance duo named Lay Twins. I was like, and I was just watching, and I was just like, nah, this is crazy. What is that? And then it was just something like I've never seen, you know what I mean? Like, they are like hip hop based technically, mixed with like some other things, but I was like, what? And I'm like 13, 14 at the time. I'm like, nah, what is that? So through them, I started to just look at many things dance. And funny enough, I started doing a robot. I was like the first style I started doing. And that's it, just turned into me just trying to like get into it, trying to perfect my movement, perfect. Um and it just became a passion from there, because I found myself like doing it every single day, any chance I got. So that's how I got into dancing. And then with photography and videography, this is gonna be really short. My dad will always bring like boxes of movies home, and it'll all be like throwback movies from like the '80s and '90s or early 2000s. And my TV in my room had like a built-in cassette player, so I would just watch all the movies because I didn't have cable at the time, and that was like one of my favorite pastimes. And I would just watch all types of movies. I would watch comedies, I would watch horrors, I would watch martial arts movies, romance comedy, like all these things, and I just loved acting as well as like capturing like just like motion picture and everything. So like that's really what
Mm.
got to that. And then I took a picture one time when I decided to go to art school, like a performing arts school, middle school, and I didn't dance at that time either, and like film just like went along with like what I thought I wanted to do. And then I we got a project, I took a picture. That picture was probably one of the best pictures anyone that my age ever took, and it ended up like staying on the billboard in that school even years after I graduated. So I was like, I think I have a knack for this and I want to continue doing this.
Man, yeah, to kind of, and that's always like another question too I ask people is like, what is the moment you kind of realize, like there's always a like a like, whoa, I might actually be able to do something with this. Like there might be something here. Um that's funny, man, to think like cassette player. You kind of aged yourself with that one. Um, I am old enough to remember, you had to rewind the
Yeah.
VHS before you took it back to to your Albertsons or your Blockbuster, because if they had to rewind it, they charged you like $2 or whatever, and it was like the easiest thing to not have to pay for.
Mhm.
Um, House Party, that is such a reference of a movie, because I do think that a lot of young dancers are inspired. I mean, I was very inspired by the twins, right?
Mhm.
I thought, especially back then, I don't want to say that they were even ahead of their time, but they were definitely on to something, because I feel like so many people started replicate trying, at least trying to
Mhm.
replicate that style. Um, and especially like 2011, I think, to like 2014, everybody wanted to dance exactly like the twins. But even now, there's still a lot of that. There's still a lot of that going around. There's such a huge impact. Um, Man, my dance movie was Save the Last Dance.
Mm.
Super corny. I think culturally not very accepted, but because there's always me, I always see memes of old girl dancing and stuff, and it's like, yo, what's this? But I don't know. It was like a love story, and they're doing it through dance, and it was, I don't know, it was tight to me. And homie wore Tim's, and I thought that was the coolest, just the coolest thing ever. Uh,
Oh.
and you got started in church, right? You see this video, you're kind of starting to make your way. You're going to an art school, and what was like, at least for dance wise, what was the first style that really like called out to you? Was it the hip hop choreo? Because I know you said that there's a couple different trades of dancing in which you're practicing and pursuing. Which one was it that first made you kind of feel at home?
So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I never liked choreo. Like at first, like I did not want to do it. Like even when I joined the dance team, or when I didn't technically join the dance team. I joined dance after school, and like I just never practiced with like the choreo dancers like ever, except like that one time when it was like, oh, it's our last year, we want to feature you in our dance. And I was just like, it's not like I can't do choreo, it's just I just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
um I say that to say I've always really been like a freestyle head at heart, and what really caught me first was light feet. What really caught me first was light feet. Like seeing it back in like '08. um it was just something so new and explosive, and it was the new baby. grandchild in the hip hop realm, and just like it was just different. Just the cadence, the music that was starting to come out of it. Like you can do it like anywhere, and you didn't even need music. Like people would just clap their hands, like no music, no music, and like that's all you needed. And we would do it in the cafeteria, the gym, the sidewalk, waiting for the bus, the train, whatever. It was just that new thing for the new gen that just was, and it took over in so many ways. I couldn't do it at the time though. I just like watching it. I couldn't wop for nothing at that time. Um, yeah, so it was definitely light feet for me first that got me, and then flexing after.
And those are your two. Those are the two styles that you're doing mostly nowadays, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude. The light feet videos, and it's always a New York subway train, and it's some dude always doing some crazy like, he's grabbing the bars, doing a flip, hitting the whole thing. Like I don't flexing. I've been telling some of the more of my recent guests because I feel like I've had more flexors on here recently. I don't know jack about flexing. I know that it looks dope. I know that I could tell you when somebody's hitting the beat. I could tell, I know counts of music and all of that. I get those parts. And same
Mm,
thing with light feet. Like I couldn't tell you any of the basics, but yeah, it's like you start hearing those hands clap, and you hear no music, no
mhm.
music. I'm like, okay, it's happening. Like it is happening out here, and then something just comes from it, dude. I really, really appreciate that style. Um,
Yeah, flexing is definitely home for me though. That's naturally that I feel like that's my base. Like that's what I go to first. Like
hmm
naturally.
And so, how, and I maybe even for me, right? How is it in your creative process? How do you feel, especially being somebody who's, you know, multidisciplinary? How does that feel when you're like stepping into the lab? Are you really going in and you're saying, okay, today I'm practicing strictly light feet, or I'm practicing strictly flexing, or strictly this or strictly that? Or do you go in, just press play, and then kind of let your body guide you to where you're going? Like what is that process like?
That is such a good question because I've I've thought about it before. Honestly, some days, and it's funny because like people within the flexing and light feet world would call me a hybrid because of how I'm able to do both styles and blend both styles and not make it feel underdeveloped or gimmicky. So
Mm,
like some days I or most days I'll really like work on like just like flexing. Um Other days I'm not even trying to like work on anything specific within the styles. I just want to dance, and then like everything might get filtered through the lens of flex because like like I do other styles as well, so I might flex, but then I might also blend in like house, or I might blend in crump, or I might blend in like jugging, which is one of those styles that's very much still underdeveloped for me, but like I love it. Like I love to do it. I love to try to do it. Other days I'm just like, nah, I need to live. I need to live. I just need to focus on this. I'm only gonna focus on this. So it really comes down to like what I feel. Usually what I feel like what I need, or what I want to like practice, or what I want to improve on, or if something was like in my head, I'm just like, nah, that's a style. I feel like that's something I want to develop. That's a new style for me within within this realm. Let me put some ideas into that and brainstorm. So it comes down to that. It is hard though, I would say, especially for like any other dancer that like considers themselves like a hybrid or someone that like does multiple styles where you can feel like if you spend too much time on like one style, you kind of like lose it in the other and then you got to get it back. And it just feels like it no longer feels second nature or you're trying to find yourself again. And sometimes it becomes, for me, doing one style, doing the other style. And then when you put both together, trying to fine tune that because then that becomes its own thing, depending on how you look at it. So it really just comes down to like what you feel, allowing yourself to be playful, creative, and kind of just like letting things guide you naturally to see what really hits in the moment.
That's that's really cool how you say like staying not only staying playful. I also like the description of underdeveloped and gimmicky. One thing that I really noticed here in Oxnard, we're about easily an hour to our nearest crump session, in any direction, an hour. So there was a lot of labbing we did together in my garage, or at our park, and it was me and like four other people. Uh, and every time we got together, it was like 8 hours, 7 hours of just dancing in the lab. And I remember thinking, I need to go in and just practice these jabs and just, train these chest pops. And it was like after a while, I started realizing like, why is my feet moving so much? And why am I, or I'm trying to go in for footwork, but it's like, why am I doing all these chest pops when I'm trying to do footwork, man? And so kind of like these parts of me were underdeveloped and then learning to kind of like, well, this is what my body's wanting to do right now, though. This is what it's feeling. So let's just practice this. That's here. That's like, it's very tangible in the air. Let me just practice this because this is what's showing up. And, I'll keep my feet in mind, or I'll keep these jabs in mind. But if this is where my brain is truly, then I'm going to just follow that and kind of lean into, and stay playful and kind of play around in what my body's telling me it's wanting to do. Yeah, really, that's really cool because I think gimmicky. I think is another good word to describe, especially like some of the choreo heads, right? A lot of choreo heads. It's like I know you've probably seen this with the crump community, right? But it's like they'll do a crump number, and it's like, oh, it's not a crump piece, but it's crump inspired. It's like that's like an oxymoron, bro, because you're a hip hop head doing crump inspired choreo, or because hip hop inspired crump. So this is like some kind of weird chicken fried rice. Like, what do you mean? This doesn't make it's no, 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 no. Like, let's call a spade, my guy, because what you're doing, it's underdeveloped and
Mhm.
gimmicky crump that you just have synchronized into choreography, and you're getting booked by an OG or a veteran or a heavy hitter of your community. And these are the words that you guys already have like copy and pasted together as your response. And I say that because I was in the choreo community for forever. That's where I started. I mean, I was a
Mhm.
freestyle head, went through the choreo scene and did that for a long time, and then found Crump, or Crump found me, better yet, and then now I'm here. Um, so what with all these talents that you got as well, right? Not
Mhm.
only inside of dance, but then you have, everything that you're doing behind the camera. what's a couple things that keep you motivated and keep you creative?
Uh, some things that keep me motivated is my willingness to
Mm,
succeed. It's like whenever whenever I feel like, or whenever I get reminded of where my, I guess you would say, the end goal is, or the things that I can accomplish, and I know that I haven't accomplished it yet, I'm like, there's still things to do. There's still
mm,
heights to reach. Um, so it's always remembering like where I started, how far I came, even though for how far you came is something that you can often forget. Like you may always remember where you started and remember where you want to go, but you could always forget the most, like where you are currently, because you're just constantly working for the next thing. Um, and what keeps me creative is honestly, it's my ideas that I have yet to get out, and it's also my friends, because I also
mm.
have friends who also like to direct and stuff, and they also they're also dancers who may do like collabs with like other videographers and photographers, and I'm just like, oh, like that was a cool take on that. That's something like I want to do. I got to do something like I've been wanting to do, and that just gave me more inspiration to be like, okay, I'm definitely seeing it in a feasible way. It makes sense. It exists. And even if it doesn't exist, I want to make it exist, because if nobody's doing it, then who will? Why not me? So it's
Right.
always like that back and forth of like knowing that I have all these things in my head that I want to get out, and then also having the people that surround me that are also like pushing those boundaries and having me be like, okay, I want to push the boundaries right back.
Yeah, that was something that we just talked about when me and one of my buddies we were describing kind of how the dance, maybe you can even kind of give your opinion on this too, like the dance community in a weird way, like especially in the choreo scene, has this weird thing right now. And it's like there was an era where everybody was just mean to each other, and I don't want to say abusive, because I know abusive, right? Like,
Mm,
but abusive and very toxic type of leadership and team cultures. And now it's kind of like everybody hug each other, and oh, everybody's great, and everybody's a great, and oh, you're so amazing. Like, yeah, you as the person are great. You are amazing, and I love what you do, and I think you're phenomenal. But there's this person right here that's on our team that I think is fucking great. Like, great. They are the staple and the standard of our team, and I think we should all aspire to be like that. Um I kind of feel that when I look out in the community. I look out and I'm like, "Oh, wow." Like, and I get this even from people who've been dancing less time,
mm,
but definitely people more time. And sometimes even people who've been dancing longer than me, I'm like, I don't want to be like that. So it's a mix. It's a mix of people, and it's always like, if I think you're good, you're inspiring me to be like, I need to go lab. I need to go practice. Like that psychotic, always kind of got to get to the next place. Kind of like how we were saying, like forgetting, always in a hurry to get to that next spot. And
mm,
I've finally found that space of like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good right now. I'm good as I am, but I want to my creativity and my motivation comes from, like, I got eyeballs and I can see. I see the people around me, bro, and they're so amazing. They're they're wonderful dancers. Like, I mean, man, when I looked through even some of your videos, I was like, wow, this dude is dope. Like, inspiring to the max, man. Do you feel like you see that kind of in the community? Maybe I'm tripping. Do you feel like the community's a little too hard on themselves, or do you feel like the culture's gotten a little soft?
Funny enough, there's definitely that mixture of both, because there's often times where I see the community being like basic that I well, let me start with it. I see certain parts of the community trying to hold on to what was and trying
Mm,
to make it live in the present. And there's some parts of that that can, because there's just some things in the culture that works, that does push dancers in a healthy way and pushes the culture forward. And there's just some things that, like, hey, a lot of us have a lot of trauma, and a lot of us don't know, uh didn't know what we know now. And people definitely trying to be progressive, and other people trying to push back against that. So now it's kind of just like that. It's kind of just like people just want to some people want to stay in the space that they've always been in, because like that's their breeding ground. And then there's also like the other side where, like you said, like with the dancers being like hard on themselves. It's within the space we're in now, where so many things are money motivated, and like just viewership um motivated, where, and I was just talking about this the other day with one of my boys. uh the needing to feel like and present themselves as perfect, and that comes with the social media era that we're in now. And just like a lot of people are trying to make connections, and they're trying to network for like superficial reasons, and they're trying to like push up in other groups and other spaces. And it's really just made things a shit show, because so many
yes.
things now, so many ideas, so many things to get into. Is just And while it's good that like a variety of people have a space, it also comes with like the cons of like it just being so much at once, that like a lot of people don't even know what to do with themselves anymore. And
Hmm.
the even like with how the culture was then versus how it is now, like you know you have so many curriculums, and now you have essentially less people now that are creative and raw, versus a bunch of carbon copies that's all just trying to follow this that yellow brick road
Hmm.
to greatness. And it's like, if I don't look like that, I'm not going anywhere. And if I don't do this, then I'm not succeeding or on the right path. And I need to dance behind this person or be in this group in order to be this. And it's like, nah, you're respectfully, a lot of people's visions are skewed, and it's put a stunt on the dance community as a whole. And there's a lot of variables that feed into this, but a lot of changes are happening for sure. And whether it's fully for the good or the bad, we can't really say right now. But it really comes down to the people that's trying to hold it down for the culture, for real.
Hmm. Yeah, I I think you have an amazing point, right? Especially with this era of social media. Um, I seen a post where the guy was talking about how social media took the social out of what we're doing, and they were all these social dances. And now when you go to the session or you go to the club where all your homies go to dance, it's it's a multi-level marketing group meeting. You know, you have the one person that wants to meet your five friends so they can help sell this product type of, kind of feels like salesman-y almost, you know, every time I walk into this room. And I feel, I personally feel that I don't know what is going to pull us away from it and kind of dissolve that mindset. But to your point, I think you made an amazing point. Like the people who really hold down the culture and do it for the culture, they will not only always be relevant, but you know they can be like the avatar and control the wave. You know what I mean? Because you're the one, they're participating in the culture in which you guys are propping up. You know, like you are the basis in this foundation. You know, Crump is young enough to still have all, like, our creators still actively dancing and teaching workshops and labbing themselves. So as long as they keep propping up the culture and people have their opinions, whatever, no level or follower count or talent agency will ever get the culture to shift when there's still people like that of that type of caliber holding down the culture, man, and really putting it down. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just try to stay me. You know, that's I think there's no better version of me than me just being, you know, wacky me, bro. I never really got into the grip and grin of shaking. I shake hands with people when I walk in a room because that's how I was raised. You
Yeah.
know, when you walk in a house, you shake everybody's hand. You say, you know, good afternoon, sir. Hi, ma'am. You know, hi, sir. Take your shoes off and say your pleases and thank yous, and you know, mind your manners. Um, as of recently, or I mean, or let's say this, up into this up into this point, is there a moment or a time that you would say like is your highlight moment? Like it could be your favorite battle, it could be your favorite performance, or maybe you taught a workshop and there was like a student that really said something to you that made you feel away, or an award you won. What was something that you would consider a highlight moment of your career?
At this point, it's funny. It's funny because I was like I said about like how far you've come and where you're, where you haven't gotten yet and everything. There's quite a few, but the first one that came to my head was a couple years ago, I recently became a choreographer within the dance company that I'm in, KR3Ts. I've been there for about like 9 years now. Didn't even come in like experience. Like I was stiff. I was catching on the choreo, but like I wasn't, one of like the main dancers or anything. But as of recent, in the last year, big top of 2025, I put out I came up with and put out my first official dance piece, and it was pretty much just featuring like some of the guys in the company, and it was essentially a men's piece, and it was to N95 by Kendrick,
Mm.
favorite rappers, and I featured and practically put on for Flex with that piece with like other elements. I mixed in like hip hop as well, and we got to perform that at the Guggenheim Museum.
Whoa.
I was like, yo, like after we did it, got off the stage, everybody, like, friends and everybody came, and I never cried so much in my life. Like, each person came up to me and hugged me and told me, like, how much, like, how great, things went with our performances and how great my piece was, and they're seeing it. And I just leaked tears every person that came up, and I just could not stop crying. Like, I'll be good, and then somebody will come up to me like, "Yo, I'm so proud of you," and I'll be like, "Ooh."
Man.
Such a highlight moment. Just me crying tears of happiness because, like, I could not believe that it just happened. And you could be doing so many things in your life where, like, you feel like you're on autopilot and things don't feel real anymore, and then you just go back and be like, wait, I remember when I couldn't dance. I remember when I got made fun of. I remember when, I had, those injuries. I remember, when I made those mistakes, and had whack performances to me personally. And you just look back on your growth, and you just have a moment with yourself where you're like, I I remember when I saw this as a dream or a goal,
Mhm.
and then now I'm here, but I don't even remember when I got here. I'm just here now, and it's just beautiful. I got to keep doing this.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there was I did body rock, man. I remember doing body rock and I blew it on stage. And it's literally recorded and I was so down on myself and then there was a moment just being back out of practice and practicing hard and hearing, "Hey, good job, man." And it's like, "Yes, like yeah, I can still do this. Like I love this thing. This is awesome." Like that little hiccup in the road is nothing. Like it's nothing. Like on to the next, man. I'm here now. And I remember when this was a just being in this practice room was a dream. Like body rock, who cares? Like, yeah, that was a dream too, but that's already gone. This is a new day, new night to enjoy this thing that we call dance. Um yeah, I'm definitely a fiend for it, man. I think and this was also something I was talking about on this whole like effect of being psycho enough to want to be inspired by somebody else's greatness, right? And really taking that on as like a challenge to myself, but also like that humbleness of like, I'm good, man. Like I can clap for you. I can clap and be happy for your success, man. Like because you give me something to rise to. Like when you push that ceiling up, I get to rise to it now. And now we all break barriers. Um, and also having like those moments of, yeah, just just crying, man. You put in all that work, you put in everything, and yeah, you're on autopilot, and "Oh, I gotta go to work, gotta do this, gotta clean the mix up, but then you do the main thing, and sometimes that juice is just so worth the squeeze, man. After all the bad performances and the long nights of practice, or not everybody showed up to practice and it was a long night, and you're trying to get it together. You got all this pressure of putting on a show, this pressure of you want to do good too. Like, just this is what I dreamed about, like I've dreamt this, let alone the people who's on my squad. Like, they've dreamt this too, and I want to do good for them too. That's tough. That's a tough position. I don't think a lot of people appreciate that position enough, man. That's tough. I remember it was one of my last choreo performances. Uh, I was waiting in the wings, and I had already done my piece. We have to run out for the closer, and so I'm sitting there crying. I'm like, man, oh no, like this is my last, like last 4/8 counts. I gotta kill it. And then I turn and I look, and one of my students is having like a nervous breakdown, And I was like, baby, what's wrong? She's like, I can't go out there. I was like, no, I need you. Like, I need you right now. Baby, you got to do it for me. Like, come on. Like, you got me. You got me because we got 2 8 counts. All right, we're on the last 8 count. You ready? All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. And like that, it's little moments like that that are just like highlights to me. Like, yes, like we pulled through for each other. Like really made it. That's cool. That's cool. And
Yeah.
man, performing at those type of places too is that's big. That's big, bro.
Yeah.
What's and so then what's on the horizon for you? Is there something that you're like aiming for or currently working on that you really want to see to come to fruition?
I This is a perfect time too. I want to say I'm in like my modeling era right now. Like yeah, like I have so many different eras to me, and it's usually like down to like clothes and whatnot. But like right now, like I was like, I want to do more, and there's more I can do. I kind of like I like side quests. I'm kind of like a side quest person at times. Like I'll be doing something that I do like regularly, and then one day I'll do something else, and people will be like, "Wait, what?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." I'm kind of like back in that bag right now. Like literally last week, I had like a wake up call, and I was like, "I am not truly doing what I can." And even just before that, like a couple few months ago, like I had people coming up to me after one of the anniversary shows that I feature in, and they're like, "Yo, that was great. Like seeing you grow, do this and that. Like I want to see more of you, and I want to see you doing more, putting out more of your stuff." And funny enough, I'm very much a believer of like, manifesting and putting energy into the lifestyle that you want and working for it.
Hmm.
And as soon as I said, I was like, you know what? I want to start working on my website. I want to just develop that. I want to start doing this with photography, and I want to start investing in this. And I even want to start getting into modeling. Literally the next day, like something popped up on Instagram and was like, "Hey, here's a casting call this weekend. It's open, and we're accepting dancers." And I was like, it can't be anything clearer than this. Like it's like literally.
Yeah.
So I really want to get into like that avenue as well for myself, because I personally want to have some more experiences and unique experiences and notches under my belt. And I was like, you know what, F it, why not? Like I want to model.
Hmm.
I want to do some stuff with some brands. Like I want to, do some more shoots. I want to take shoots. I want to do shoots of more models and
Yes.
stuff like that. So that's next for me. Just kind of like itching my way into the fashion industry, really getting into more fashion and modeling.
Uh yeah, I am a firm for I'm a faithful man, right? And so I put my faith up on the most high, and I am a person where I'm like, you you pray for something enough, you put it out there enough, and sometimes you get these opportunities, and they might seem, I I think a lot of people's problems is they don't seem big enough, right? They either the opportunity doesn't seem big enough, or it's too big, so it's not true, or it's so big and I feel so small, I can't handle that. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, you prayed for this, it's here. Just act on it. Don't let the judges judge. You be you. I literally just told one of my buddies that about some dance stuff he had going on. I was like, hey man, just post the video. Just get the video, post the video. If you like it, you like it. Let the judgy people judge you, bro. They're still gonna watch it. You're still gonna get the view. Who cares? And for those who care, we're gonna love it. And we think you're talented. We all think you're talented, man. You know. Um, so yeah, it's dope because I even for myself, I'm really leaning into the podcast a lot harder.
Mhm.
Leaning into the clothing brand a lot harder, leaning into some of these other. I get very side questy too, bro. I get real way out in the weeds sometimes, and so really leaning into some of the other things that I got going on a lot harder. Because why not? You
Yeah,
know, we ain't got nothing to lose except time. You know, and I'd rather spend time chasing it and going for it than saying I wish I would have or oh, but why did they get that and not me? You know, that's
yeah,
yuck.
yeah.
Yuck. Listen, Shades, my man. I want to say first and foremost, I appreciate you for coming on the show. I do have a little game I would like to play if you're down.
Okay.
It it is a rapid fire, quick couple questions. I always tell people try to keep it as short as possible, one word if possible. But it's just some quick questions, and it'll get everybody a last second chance to kind of peer into your mind. Are you
Okay.
down?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. So first one, which one are you picking? Summer or winter?
Summer.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
A late night stroll or an early morning walk?
Late night stroll.
Your favorite sound?
Sound. Yay!
Your favorite way to unwind?
Movies.
Anywhere in the world, where are you picking as your go-to travel place?
Japan.
What is your deepest fear?
Failing myself
Mm,
entirely.
mm. Your biggest regret?
Not believing in myself enough for
Yeah.
certain opportunities.
All the people that you've ever met in your life are in one room. Who are you looking for first?
That I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? This is the hardest one. This is this doesn't include family, right? It
It can
doesn't
everybody.
everybody. God damn. My mother.
Can never go wrong with mama.
Yeah.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Unique. mm, Dimensional. Light.
Mm, light. My man. If you could go back to your 15-year-old self, what is a piece of wisdom that you would give Trey Shades?
Whoa. Piece of wisdom I would give myself. You are enough. You are enough. Do not settle for less. You are worthy of all the things you desire. Go for it.
Man, that I've played this game a few times, right? It's a little newer tradition I'm doing, and I
Mm.
think that one was probably the best answer I've heard so far.
Wow.
That was beautiful. Trey Shades, is there anything you want to leave the people with before we go? Drop Instagrams, YouTube's, clothing line, anything, man. This is the moment's yours.
Absolutely. Um, Instagram at Trey the Creator. That's Trey underscore the CR34TOR. I know that's a bit of a doozy. Anything I want to leave the people with. Never lose the kid in you. Hold on to that childhood. That kid in you that feeds your creativity, that feeds your creativeness, that feeds your purity. Um, Another thing I would say is do not lose yourself. It can become easy to lose yourself in this lifetime, and there are going to be a lot of things that stare you off from attaining and going after what you truly want. Try to hold on to that as much as possible. There's going to be a lot of energies that try to get in your way and try to bring you down with them. Do not try to stay grounded throughout all the things that you do. And your dreams, usually the things that scare you are going to be the things that push you into a life that you imagine. Yeah, be kind, be raw, do not be fake. Even though some of you will be fake, it's okay. We need to balance. But for my people out there that really feel me though, stay true to who you are for real. That will put you in more valuable and pure, raw spaces that you deserve to and need to be in than the spaces that you think you should be in. It'll really get you further for what your soul desires rather
Yeah.
than outside things that you think you need.
Yeah, man. Yes. 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 Putting us in the proper places and sometimes even the places we didn't think we were supposed to be in or never had a chance to be in, or it's like never saw myself being there. Yes. Yes. Trey. Mr.
Yeah.
Trey Shades. Trey the creator. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you coming on the show again. And yeah, I'll send you a message here shortly on Instagram, man, so we can chop it up a little bit more. All right.
Yeah. And anybody living in the tri-state area or wherever, if you're gonna be in New York, September 5th, there is a KR3T's Dance Festival, Wellness Festival that we're holding September 5th. Um, Performance featured by me and my people. So if you're around, it's going to be happening practically all day from 11 to 7. There's going to be performances, giveaways, haircuts, battles, battle opportunities that may send you to France. So yeah, if you're around,
Ooh.
you know, get involved, come check it out, be a part of that in Harlem, 127.
Hey.
So yeah, just putting that out there.
All right, man. I'll send you a message right now for sure, brother.
Thank you.
One
Appreciate
love.
you for having me, man. This was great. This was dope.
Of course. Of course. We'll do it again soon. You guys, that was Trey Shades. What an amazing display of humility, right? Of grace. And above all things, there's a beauty in understanding like the present moment. I really liked how he was talking about like the present moments where we need to be. You know, you can get so lost in trying to get to the places of where you're trying to go, and sometimes we forget to like be present and look back. Like look back, see where we came from, be like beloved. I used to not even know how to dance to the beat, be like what? Like dancing with two left feet type of vibes. Man, my eyes is about to start leaking in here. I swear it on my life. Oh man. And then to think like I have all these cool friends now. Like I got all these cool friends that introduce me to their other cool friends, and I get to sit down in front of a microphone and talk on a podcast, and I'm making a life off of a podcast. Like what? 15-year-old me would have been spazzing out. I didn't know what to do with myself at 15 years old. You know what I'm saying, people? So everybody who's watching, has watched, or will watch, check him out. Check out his work. Phenomenal Instagram page with amazing, just his craft work is amazing. And like you said, if you're in the tri-state area, check him out. The KR3Ts, right? Dance Festival. Battle might be taking you to Paris, and link up with him. Link up with my mans, right? Have a conversation first off, and get you a picture taken. Get you a nice little picture taken, and take you a nice little dance video, right? And vibe out and chill. Experience the culture. I've been to New York before as like as a child. Like I was like in like late middle school, early high school when we went, and there was something about that. There was something about that. And I've been back because of work, but never just to enjoy the state and enjoy this, especially the city of New York. So if you have a chance for me, like for me, go get you a chopped cheese and go get you a slice, right? And a Coke and enjoy the city because you got people like him out there. Yeah, and people like Trey Shades makes the world a better place to live in when you really meet some authentic, true, down to the soil peeps. Yeah. Again, corpsecollection.com. Make sure you guys check it out. For everybody who is watching on across all the platforms, thank you. And I know Facebook is weird and doesn't show all the comments and all the viewers. Um, Shame on you, Facebook. But I love you guys. I appreciate the support. Again, I hope you guys have a good day, week, month, year, and life.